Okay, Christina here to listen to some music, and today's music selection is Joanne by Michael Nesmith and the First National Band. So I do know who Michael Nesmith is, and that is because I watched reruns in the afternoons after school of the Monkees when I was a kid in the 80s. Gosh, I thought it was like a super old TV show, but it was just like 20 years before. You know, further away than the 80s are to us now. Anyway, I loved the music. They always played the music in the shows, and they were all so adorable. So I do know who Michael Nesmith is, but I also know that he didn't want to be defined just by his time in the Monkees, and I totally get it. I understand it. But I have not heard any of his own music that he did outside of the Monkees. So this is going to be really, really neat for me to get to hear him with his band post-Monkees. I have no idea what to expect. I don't know how far away his style actually was from the music of the Monkees. I don't know. So we're going to find out. What else are we going to find out today, though? I am a professional classically trained musician, instrumentalist, vocalist, composer, and professor. So the other stuff we find out about this music has to do with how it's composed, the instruments that are used, maybe some music theory, and of course, how do we relate to this music? Why do we like it? Or maybe why do we not like it? So can't wait to learn more about Michael. So no more delay. Let's listen. Okay, here we go.
Her name was Joanne, and she lived in a meadow by a pond. And she touched me for a moment with a look that spoke to me of her sweet love. Then the woman that she was drove her on with desperation, and I...
Okay, I'll back it up and start this new section here. Wow, all right. It's a little bit country, isn't it? Totally. I love how he goes up through the break in his voice up into his falsetto. And it's also kind of dreamy, and he's talking about a romance of sorts, a woman that he loves or someone loves, you know. It's beautiful, but it's definitely country. But you know what? It's kind of reminding me of sort of John Denver, which is sort of a cross between country and folk. I do know some John Denver. My mom was a big John Denver fan, and so I definitely know some John Denver. This is really mesmerizing, though. Really, it's beautiful. I recognize his voice, though. I know Michael's voice, for sure, from the Monkees. But I didn't hear him sing like this with the Monkees. This is kind of special. And this is also in 1970, I do know that. So this is perhaps right after the Monkee years. So, yeah, I'm happy for him. He has this beautiful music. I'm going to back it up, and we're going to keep going.
Then the woman that she was drove her on with desperation, and I saw as she went a most hopeless situation for Joanne and the man and the time that made them both run. She was only a girl, I know that well, but still I could not see that the hold that she had was much stronger than the love she felt for me. But staying with her and my little bit of wisdom broke down her desire. fires like a light through a prism into yellows and blues, and a tune that I could not have sung. Though the essence is gone.
All right, we're headed into one more little section there. Wow, this is so beautiful. And it's just, it's simple. You know, it doesn't take much to identify all of the instruments that are playing. And it definitely has that cowpoke kind of cowboy, you know, charm. But then again, his voice is so charming on its own. It really reminds me of John Denver. The vibrato that he has and John Denver are really, really similar. And also, John Denver goes up. Aren't there some songs of his where he goes up high? And he has some sort of country folk song. Well, I don't mean to compare Michael Nesmith too much to just one other. I want him to be able to be his own artist here. Poor guy, torn between the Monkees and John Denver. Okay, and when was John Denver around? Was that 70s or 80s? Again, my mom was the big fan, so I think I need to learn some more about John Denver on the channel. So if you know anything, let me know. Maybe we'll have to have a poll at some point, or maybe if there's some direct requests. I don't know. We'll get there. Okay, back to Mr. Nesmith. I need to take a look at the lyrics, but I'll do it. I'm going to finish the song because it doesn't sound like things are going right with this person. There's definitely some negative emotions happening here. Some desperation, maybe? Some confusion? Maybe some crying. I thought maybe at first the falsetto usage was more for celebration and happiness, but maybe it's more for heartache. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, with like the slide guitar and the strumming chords. Yeah, I can see maybe this is more of a sadder type of song. So, okay. Backing it up, we're going to hear this new section and then hear this song out.
And a tune that I could not have sung. Though the essence is gone, I have no tears to cry for her, and my only thoughts of her are kind. Her name was Joanne, and she lived in a meadow by a pond. And she touched me for a moment with a look that spoke to me of her sweet love. Then the woman that she was drove her on with desperation, and I saw as she went a most hopeless situation for Joanne and the man and the time that made them both run. For Joanne and the man and the time that made them both
run. Okay. That was really sweet. It was kind of sad. So I'm not quite sure how popular this song was. Popular enough that I am sure many a slow dance maybe was done to this song. I can see it like somewhere like in a country bar, or I don't know, maybe it was the song for certain couples. I can see how this could be a special song to a lot of people. I want to check out the lyrics though, because I was a little confused as to what he was saying. The last few lines of the main verse. All right, so here we go. Her name was Joanne, and she lived in a meadow by a pond, and she touched me for a moment with a look that spoke to me of her sweet love. Then the woman that she was drove her on with desperation. I thought I heard desperation. Something was desperate in there, but then the word actually showed up. I didn't hear it the first time or two. I was like, oh, desperate. Okay. And I saw as she went a most hopeless situation for Joanne and the man and the time that made them both run. Yikes. Okay, what happened to Joanne? All right, verse 2. She was only a girl, I know that well, but still I could not see that the hold that she had. Boy, that's hard. That's very wordy, but I can see how it's really well put into music, especially with that that beat there. Fit all those words in there to still make sense. Anyway, that the hold that she had was much stronger than the love she felt for me. But staying with her and my little bit of wisdom broke down her desires like a light through a prism into yellows and blues. I heard mention of the prism and the colors into yellows and blues and a tune that I could not have sung. So there was something like he was with her or was trying to be with her, but there was something in her holding her back. And that maybe that's a side of her she didn't want to see. And so that's his wisdom. Like he was sort of reflecting that back to her, but she didn't want to see it. And it sort of broke her a little bit. And I love how he says, though, into the different colors and a tune, like a language that he can't understand. There's something in her. Wow. Okay. Though the essence is gone, I have no tears to cry for her. And my only thoughts of her are kind. Sort of a, I wish you well. So whatever was going on with her here, he's not able to, like, they're not quite the right match. Not for her. Not for him. She's not for him, I think. So verse 3, her name was Joanne and she lived near the meadow by a pond. It's the same thing. A most hopeless situation. Okay, for Joanne and the man and the time that made them both run. So is he speaking of the man? Is that himself or is it a different man? Like maybe she's feeling something. Maybe that's the thing, that she's in love with someone else maybe. So was she already feeling for this other person and that she ran off with him, or did she find this man after they were together? Yikes. Well, it sounds like maybe his heart was a little bit broken. And maybe it kind of broke her heart too, but it sounds like she needed to go somewhere else. And he's like, all right, bye, see ya. Whew. Okay. Well, I don't know if that would want to be a couple's song, but sometimes people don't need to read into the full meaning behind a song. It's just more like the aesthetic behind a song and how pretty it is. And maybe that song was playing at an important time for that couple, like when they met or whatever, sometimes that's all it needs to be. But then it could also be a really great breakup song for that same couple. So you never know. Wow, this is a beautiful little piece of artistry. Very much on a deeper level than what a lot of the music by the Monkees went to. But you know what? The music by the Monkees, even though it was more surfacey, it's just such good music. You just can't help but enjoy it. And I'm surely, Nesmith had some input on that. But seeing him being able to weave this work here of beauty, it makes me happy. And hearing his voice on display, I don't think he got a lot of that with the Monkees. I think we heard mostly Davy and Mickey. And so I'm really happy to be hearing him now. I totally recognize his voice, though. Just hearing his speaking voice, oh my goodness. And this is right around that time, too. It's just right after. Oh, I loved him in the show. He was adorable. And so I can picture him here now. Oh, this is really great. All right, so I want to go back and again just be able to allow his voice just to sing just a little bit more because it was beautiful, especially that falsetto. So let's just start it again. Yeah. That slide guitar, whatever.
Her
It's
name
beautiful.
was Joanne, and she lived in a meadow by
That little crack right there. And then the falsetto. That little voice crack that he does over the word meadow.
And she touched me
I'm gonna go back and hear that again.
with a look that spoke to me of her sweet love.
There. Love it.
Then the woman that she was drove her on with desperation, and I saw as she went a most hopeless
And
situation.
you can hear of her sweet,
For
another crack right
Joanne
there.
and the man and the time that made them both run.
Oh, he's got such great
She was
control.
only a girl, I know that well, but still
In a serious,
I could
hopeless
not
situation.
see that the hold that
Wow, he knows what he's doing with how he pronounces the words, the diction, the fact that he opens time. You open that up and it really allows the voice to come out for that sweet spot. Time. And then how he closes in a run, closing off to the end. He has every little gesture down in this song. It's all artistically deliberate. And it all really, really works. He's able to do it again and again for each verse, because the first verse and the third verse are identical. But, like, I'm not saying it's well rehearsed, it's just well planned. It's very deliberate, very intentional. And that is the kind of polished sense in music that I'm used to as a classical musician. Like, we work up a solo Bach piece by J.S. Bach, you know, like some of the solo partitas and sonatas by Bach for violin. You have so many options of what to do musically with the ornamentation and the dynamics, the phrasing, all of the interpretation. And so you sort of go through that and you decide what that is, and then you sort of commit to it, at least in that phase, because, you know, you can revisit it in years later on and you can change your mind. So I'd be interested to see if he performs this. Like, is this one of his biggest hits? And did he perform it later on? And would it be slightly different? Or did he stay true to his original artistic decisions? I'd be interested to know. If you happen to know, let me know. But wow, I am so impressed with how well polished this is. I am so grateful to what he has learned in his career up to this point and how he's able to deliver this right now. I see it. I can see his talent and his effort with this. This is really, really great. So let me move ahead to the part. It might actually be coming up, sort of a bridge, and he plays with a little bit of stepwise downward motion, which really pulls on the heartstrings. Let's see if we can, maybe we'll just keep going. I bet it's coming up soon.
that she had was much stronger than the love she felt for me.
Okay, so sorry, it's actually not coming up because we went on to the verse 2 there, to the second verse. But just more details. Oh, only a girl. And you hear her just hear him like go downward with a little bit of vibrato. Girl. That little decision right there. See, it was different from the meadow, whatever he was doing before, where he had the little voice crack, right, on the pond, the meadow by the pond. Only a girl. Let's go back and hear him do that little gesture.
Only a girl.
There, it was so slight, but the way girl, the way he closes to the L and it just goes down a little tiny bit. That little gesture right there. It's little tiny details like that sort of slip by so quickly, but that's what I mean by that polished. That's a decision. I know he was doing that on purpose there. All right, so let's go ahead to the bridge so that we can really hear what I'm talking about. Actually, I think it's Actually, it's not in the bridge. I think it's at the end of the verse. I'm going to back it up a little bit into the first verse. Let's see if it's there. It's that little stepwise down thing that I wanted to point out that really, again, pulls on your heartstrings a little bit.
For Joanne and the man and the time that made them both run.
Right. So it was before the time, the da da, Joanne and the man, da da da. That little stepwise thing. Yeah. It tugs, doesn't it? It really does. Yeah, the bridge was more stepwise, but actually he went up a little higher stepwise for the bridge. And that's really, really good there, actually, because there's a lot of each of the verses that is all kind of monotone, just one note over and over and over again, which also takes a lot to play or to sing the same note over and over again and have it still be interesting. Let's go to the bridge and hear how he moves up and uses more notes.
Already up high. Gone, I have no tears to cry.
It's got a great range.
My only thoughts of her kind.
Gosh.
Her name was Joanne.
Wow. He's got such control. And again, every syllable that he sings, every word, every syllable is so deliberate and articulated just right. Okay, that was Joanne by Michael Nesmith and the First National Band. I keep wanting to say First National Bank, but that's okay. The First National Band. I'm not sure who the other musicians are that joined him. Are any of them famous? Did they go on to do anything else? Were they in something previously? How long did this band last? I kind of hope that it caught on, but I'm not sure what radio station it would land on. Is it more country or folk? Because see, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and I guess it's kind of this way still, just with radio stations that are so divided with the different genres, but I'm not sure how much folk and country kind of dipped back and forth on the same radio station back then, like in 60s and early 70s. I don't know. So if you happen to know, let me know if you're around then, or if you happen to just know, if you're a history buff with radio play, let me know. And I'm hoping, I'm like, please, I hope that he was successful in his career after the Monkees. And so for now, I am happy to honor his career post Monkees, but I'm still going to love him in the Monkees. But I love his voice here. I have a whole new appreciation for Michael Nesmith and his voice and how polished he is. He knows what he is doing and he does it so well. So thank you for listening along with me to this. If you're also getting to know Michael Nesmith outside of the Monkees, glad to have you coming along with me. And will this go on my playlist? Yes, I think it will. It's lovely. And as always, just remember that you don't have to be perfect. Just be okay. And keep listening.